What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining. Today, I, I, I want to talk about the Omega Planet Ocean. I don't do a lot of watch videos. I've done several. I have a few watches, and I do talk about them from time to time. This one, my buddy James specifically asked me to show this one because he is interested in them and wanted to really take a look. And whenever I do watches, I bring out a couple of comparison ones, and I bring out the Loom Monster from my buddy Jerry. But I'm not going to go through all of the specs because there are a lot of other watch people that do much better job. My buddy Bruce Williams did a fantastic video on this, not this exact watch, this exact model, but not this one. I bought this one new from an AD local here to me in Napa, California. So I'm going to link to Bruce's video down below. So go check him out if you want all of the details and all of the stuff. I'll point out a few things for sure. But yeah, definitely go check out his video if you want all the specs for it for sure. It's a 43.5 millimeter case. The lug to lug is 49 millimeters. That is a lug width of 21 millimeters with a nice bracelet that does taper down to about 18. It is on the thick side. From the very top of the crystal to the bottom of the case back, it is 16.25 millimeters. So it is on the thicker side. I personally don't have a problem with that. I bought it, so I guess I don't have a problem with that. Dang, I forgot to convert the weight. The weight is 7.1 ounces. If I remember, I'll put the grams in the description. I don't remember. I just didn't do the conversion. Sorry, my scale does ounces. So it's 7.1 ounces. So it is on the heavy side. That is with the full steel bracelet, stainless steel case, ceramic white dial, ceramic bezel, orange bezel insert with liquid metal indices on the bezel. And one of the things I do love about it is a 600 meter water resistance. Not that I do diving, but come on now. But it has a 60-hour power reserve, so it lasts a while. You can go a couple days without pulling it out and putting it on, and it'll still be running along just fine. This is a brand new in-house caliber from Omega. It is the caliber 8900, and it is COSC and METIS certified, so it's super accurate. 1 or 2 seconds a day variation, and that's it, which is super nice. It has a really great bezel action. It's almost a little bit too light, but it does line up perfectly. And let's see if we can zoom all the way in here. It's really hard to photograph and or video just the way my setup is because the lights. The lights really play off of that white dial. But man, this was my first white dial watch, and I wasn't sure I could really pull it off. But it works great. It has a display case back, just super nice. So you can see the movement in there. It's great. It does have a helium escape valve. Again, I'm not diving, whatever. One of the cool features on this is that it has a jumping hour. So normally to set the hour, you have to stop the watch, which I just pulled out a little bit too far. And now I can jump the hour for if you're traveling and you're going to a different time zone, you can just go boom, boom, and the watch still keeps ticking. You can go back. You can also change the date forwards and backwards. So that's how you can set the watch really quickly, which is a really, really nice feature. I think that's really cool. We just had a time change a little bit ago. I did not have to reset the watch. I just jumped this an hour and off you went. So that's a really cool feature, something I really like about this watch. What else do I have here that I wrote down? Yeah, that really covers a lot of the specs. I mean, the COSC and the Meta Certified is just really accuracy stuff through Switzerland and their government regulations and all of that stuff. And Bruce, I think, talks a little bit more about that in his videos. But yeah, it's just a beautiful dial. I love the pop of orange on the Seamaster, the depth, and the 12, 6, and 9. Just great. It makes a statement. It does stand out and is got a little bit of flash. Now, there are a couple of other features that are really cool on the bracelet. It does have, which I will never use, a dive extension. So you can open this up to put over your dive suit, which is cool, I guess, if you're going to dive with it. I don't. But it has a built-in micro adjust, or a toolless adjustment. So you can take links and stuff out to dial it in to the right size. But then in the summertime, when you're outside and your wrist swells up a little bit, you can just push this button in and it will slide open. And it's in super small increments, and it just clicks into the next little hole. And you can see the holes down there when it's out of the way. You have, I don't know, 5 or 6 micro adjustments, and you can really dial in the fit perfectly. So you can see I wear it. It's gotten scratched up already. I've had it a month or so. Let me show you on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. And let me zoom back out here. Oops, sorry about that. It wears really nicely. It's a little bit, I have it a little bit loose because I don't like it super tight. But with that push button adjustment, I can bring it in just a little bit. I usually have it here with one click out, which seems to be the most comfortable for me. But it gives you the ability to do that on the fly, which I think is super awesome. That's one of my favorite things, is that clasp that has that push button adjustment. Now, there's a couple of minor things that I don't love. The bracelet edges, it's really hard to describe. They're not sharp where they're going to cut you, but they are just a little harsh. As you're putting it on, it's just a little harsh there. And then the other thing that's actually fairly harsh is these points right down here on the lugs. Those, again, aren't going to stab you and cut you, but they are very sharp and a little uncomfortable. Now, granted, you're not going to really feel those when the watch is on. I mean, it's not uncomfortable on my wrist. It's really only uncomfortable when I'm playing with the lugs, maybe, and I'm kind of fiddling with my watch and, sitting there at my desk and kind of looking at and whatnot. I can feel it down here. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. It's totally fine. So let me give you a couple of size comparisons here. I've got a Casio G-Shock out here to give you kind of a size comparison. Another G-Shock, because this one glows in the dark, so why not? Because I will give you a Loom Shot here in a minute. And here it is next to a Seiko mod that I had done. This is 43.5 millimeter, and this is a 42 millimeter case. So it's a little deceiving because of the blue. The bezels are a little bit different. So I mean, the numbers are a little deceiving in general because watches can wear different. So I try not to really focus on the size number because I've been very surprised and put on a 47 millimeter that I thought was going to be way too big, and it actually worked fine. Or I bought a 40 millimeter that I was nervous about being too small, and it's perfect. So don't get hung up on the number size. You really need to try them on and see what works best for you and your wrist. So let's get to a Loom Shot here and see what these do. Hopefully they've charged up enough under just the studio lights. So it's really awesome. Fully loomed bezel, seconds hand, hour hand. It's, I mean, and it's going to last a long time. It really does. And then next to the Seiko, well, the Seiko Loom is pretty freaking incredible in general. And this is off of a Seiko Turtle that we modded into a Seiko SKX case. So, yeah, I mean, and then here it is next to the G-Shock, which is fully loomed, that actually looks better to the naked eye. And then you got the Loom Monster from my buddy Jerry, and I'll put a link to his Etsy store down below also, because he does this, and he does a glow-in-the-dark turtle, and a couple of other shapes and sizes and stuff like that. So, awesome guy, and I greatly appreciate this one, and I've got over to the side over here 3 or 4 more glow-in-the-dark, 3D printed things that he's printed out for me. So anyway, I kind of ran longer than I thought this was going to be. So hopefully this was interesting to you guys. Please go check out Bruce's channel down below to get some, better details and more information if you're so interested. And let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments. This is my watch. I own it. I don't plan on selling it, so it will be around if you want to ask any questions about this or anything you ever see on my channel. So, all right. Thanks, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and we will see you on the next one.